I can't hear you.
I haven't started yet.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Quiet Storm Collective. I'm Latoya Murchison, and today we are honoring unseen people with strength that takes on life. Bria, you were diagnosed with diabetes at a young age. How did that shape your childhood self-image, and what do you wish people better understood about living with diabetes as a child?
Yes, so I was diagnosed at 15. My sugar was over 1,000, and the doctors were surprised I wasn't in a coma. My mom saw the signs, and so she was like, "Go to the doctors, go get checked." And so that night, after I got checked at the doctors, that night I had to go to the hospital. And I think I stayed there about 3 days and had to learn, how to take, because I got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which means your pancreas doesn't make any insulin. So you have to take shots. And type 2 means your pancreas makes some insulin, but not enough. So usually they take pills. So type 1 is mostly in juveniles, so like young kids, teens. And so I was in the hospital for 3 days, had to learn how to take shots, how to count carbs, how to know how many carbs is in what food, drinks. And so I think it shaped me because it really made me learn about food, and it made me learn more about my health because I guess when I got diagnosed with diabetes, I was still kind of confused about it. And as I got older, I felt like I was more in control of it. And so once I got diagnosed with diabetes, then it had already damaged my kidneys. So that was, kind of hard to really, relate because a lot of people that I knew didn't really have diabetes or anything. So my mom did. So it was kind of helpful to have her. And we both kind of went through this journey together.
Did you change the way you eat, get more activity, or what changes did you make once you were diagnosed?
So I make sure I drank more water. I wouldn't say I was like really active. But, as a young teen, I'm always on the go moving, so I felt like that helped. And then the eating, I felt like that was the hardest because I feel like it was good because I always struggle with portion control. And so knowing that I can only have 40 grams of carbs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that kind of helped. And it kind of played with what kind of foods I can eat. So, like I can have a cup of rice, and then meat doesn't have a lot of carbs, but rice have like 15 grams for a cup. So it was just like little things like that where I can kind of pick and choose. Fruits have sugar in them. So it's like you can't have too much of something. And so, yes, I just felt like it taught me, a little bit more on the food side.
Thank you for sharing those facts for others that don't know about them.
You're
When
welcome.
your journey shifted to kidney failure and dialysis, what was that season like for you, and what helped you stay grounded as your body felt like it was failing you?
Well, I got diagnosed. Well, I had kidney disease pretty much for a long time. I think since I was about 20, but I didn't really go into kidney failure until January 2021. And I just remember my nephrologist was talking to me and was like, "Bria, like, you're in stage 5 kidney failure, and every time you come here, you're smiling, you're cheery. Like, why?" And I said, "Well, because I serve a mighty God. Like, I know He's going to keep me, and I know that I have the faith to stay grounded and just, put all my trust in Him." And so, I think she was kind of like taken aback for that. But I mean, it was the truth. I mean, literally, I didn't even start dialysis until November of 2021. So I went from January to November with no dialysis, and my GFR was at 9. So I always like to tell people, think of it as a battery. Like 100% is good, and then 9%. So yeah, I went through stage 5 cancer the whole time. Dialysis, I remember I had to get surgery because I decided to do it at home so I could still work full time. And so I had to get the surgery, get the little port, the tube in my stomach. It had to heal for 2 weeks. I got all that done in October. And in November, I think I had 8 days to learn how to do dialysis on a machine and manually, which is like an IV pole. And so I had to learn all of that in like 8 days. I think it was about 4 hours a day. I think I was going 7:30 to 11:30, just watching videos, taking tests, and I had to get tested on how to do dialysis step by step. And I had an amazing nurse named Stephanie. She was, she was very like strict. She said, "I want to tell you like it is because there's no one going to be around when you go home." So she always made sure like we got it down to the T. And so I really appreciate her for that. But yeah, dialysis, it was pretty, I mean, I felt like I remember having a tube around my stomach. I remember having to buy a little uh, band to it's like a Velcro band around your stomach so the tube won't just be hanging out your shirt. I remember doing all that. I remember getting up at like 6 in the morning, just emptying out a little dextrose, the bags where you do kidney, your dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
I remember doing all that. I remember setting up. I would set up like at 7 p.m. I would start about 9 p.m. because I always wanted to be done like by 4 a.m. because it gave me this fear like, oh my gosh, if I start so late, it's not going to be done until like 6 a.m. And, it's just so many steps you have to go through. And so I just remember starting about 9 p.m. And for me, like for everybody else is different. So for me, doing it at home, I had to be hooked up to the machine. I think it was like 8 hours a day. So I probably started before 9. But, I just wanted to make sure it was done. So once if it ended at 4 a.m., I could just still lay there and sleep. Like the machine would just sit there like on standby until I got up. And it was very tough because you have to close your air vents, you have to wear a mask, like wash your hands, you can't touch anything while you're prepping because you can get infection in the tube. Like it was really like you have to weigh yourself, blood pressure, and you get 3 bags of dextrose. Like you get a green bag, yellow bag, and a red bag. So like if your weight and blood pressure was good from the previous day, and then you can have the green bag. But if you gain a little weight and your blood pressure's not all that great, you have to get a yellow bag. And if you gain a lot of weight, then you use the red bag because it's kind of like, okay, strong is stronger, like, So the red bag was like more dextrose, more fluid going in your body, sits in your body, then it flushes back out. So it was a lot. It was, but I was happy to just talk about it. At the time, I didn't really tell a lot of people. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't really need to. So just a little close friends and family that knew. So,
What made you comfortable to talk about it now to others?
well, excuse me. I think what really helped was when I went to Duke, I met them 2 years in advance before I had the transplant. So, like, you already meet the surgeon and everybody else. And so I think what kind of gave me the courage is because the surgeon and everyone was like, okay, you're going to have to post on Facebook because trying to get the word out, trying to spread the word, they really want me to have like a living donor. So I did have a couple of people that were, willing, and it just didn't work out. And I just felt like it just happened for a reason. But it was also good to kind of go ahead and share it because, there might be other people that's dealing with this and they're probably, not, I won't say hiding it, but, they're probably shy about talking about it. So it was good for me to, spread the word, get the word out. And I really had a lot of people praying for me who was there for me. So people like you. So we always had our talks. So
Yes, we
I
do.
really appreciate it.
Thank you. Becoming a kidney and pancreas recipient is a huge milestone. What went through your mind, and when you became eligible, How did the transplant change your perspective on life, gratitude, and purpose?
So first, I want to say, like, getting a transplant, like, it it sometimes come quickly to others, sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I was on the list for about 2 years. There's so much stuff you have to do before you can even get on the list. And so, I just want to point that out because, there's people that's got theirs quickly or who's still on the list that's been on the list for like 5, 6 years or, but the transplant, getting a transplant, it was very surreal when I got the call. I remember I was on my bed saying my prayers, and I remember it was like 10 o'clock at night, and got done saying my prayers. I got a phone call, and I was like, "Who's calling me this late?" So I answered it, and they were like, "Bria, we have a kidney and pancreas. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they were like, "Okay, come to Duke tomorrow by noon." And all that was so real because I remember I had to pack and just thinking like, okay, tomorrow's like the big day, and calling my aunt, my mom, my grandma Pat. So everything, it was just a lot, but it was just kind of stressful too because then we got there and we were in the wrong buildings. It was just like, oh my gosh, but it turned out good. We found the place. I got the transplant that Wednesday. I had to go to Duke that Tuesday, and I got a transplant that Wednesday. I remember they wheeled me in at like 4 a.m. And yeah, and once I got it, I remember looking at my blood results because they had to do blood work every hour after the transplant. And I just remember like, oh my gosh, my GFR is still like 20. Like it went up a little, and they were like, don't worry, it's going to take time because you just got it. And they laughed because they were like, the pancreas is working quicker and faster than the kidney. And I guess it's usually the other way around. So that was kind of like, oh, okay. So, but it was good. The transplant, it was a struggle. I thought I would be fine. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd be fine. But I didn't think I would have a huge scar. I mean, I had the scar from like 3 inches above my navel all the way down. So, and usually when you get a kidney, they do like a C-section. But since I had a kidney and a pancreas, they cut me straight down, and the kidney is on my right side in the front, and then my pancreas on the left side. So the recovery was brutal, and I didn't eat for 10 days. And so I remember my grandma was so worried. She was like, "You haven't eaten for 10 days. Aren't you hungry?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, maybe because I was in pain. And so, yeah, I was in Duke. I didn't go home till 23rd. And so, I mean, the transplant, I mean, it's still a blessing. Like I said, I went to Duke December 1st and everything's good. And so I'm just blessed for it.
You have definitely been through a lot. We have a comment from Brittany. True warriors and fighters. Both of you are very strong women.
Oh, thank you, Brittany.
Yes, thank you.
We
Speaking
are.
of your recovery, what did it teach you about patience and caring for your mental health during the hardest moments of surviving chronic illness?
The recovery was tough, but I felt like my mental health was still good because, like I said, I know who God is, and I also had a lot of family members that, was there. Even my job, they bought me a whole bunch of food, like water, snacks. The parents from my job, I work at daycare, and so they all kind of donated some money to help me get through because I couldn't drive for a while. Think about a month. I don't think I could drive. And so just to kind of help out. And I felt like that's why my mental health wasn't, poor or anything because like I said, I had family, friends and coworkers and, God that's there. Like I felt, you know, fine with it besides the pain.
Right. Okay. You speak a lot about faith, hope, and spirituality. When were there any uncertain moments when you had to truly lean on your faith in other people?
Yeah, I mean, I even though like I said, my mental health wasn't bad, but just through the pain sometimes, it was like really painful. The meds didn't help. So I really just had to rely on God, and I knew He was there, and just pray, because that's all we can do is pray, pray, pray. And yeah, and so even though I had family friends that were there, I know that I can always lean and trust on God.
Amen. Did you have to grieve the life you exited while to embrace the one you were given? And how did that the way you advocate for yourself and others in medical spaces?
I like to advocate myself in medical spaces because everyone I talk to is like, "Oh my gosh, you got a kidney and a pancreas," and and a lot of people don't know anybody that had a transplant or a kidney transplant. So I felt like now that I had came out with a post about me getting a transplant and then me having a transplant, I mean, I felt like it was really like refreshing just to tell others my story. I know 2 other people that had a kidney transplant and they're doing good. So I feel like that was really nice to have someone to know like what you've been through, because I mean, even with friends and family, they can't really understand. So just to have 2 people that I know personally that had the transplant, it was just easier to go through it because I know they've been through it and they understand like my pain and whatever. And yeah, doing the medical spaces, I like that. I like because you can just tell your story and they can ask questions. And like I said, I mean, I talk to people all the time and they're so interested in it and they want to know like everything, and they're just so amazed because a lot of people don't get a kidney and pancreas. Like you can't just get a pancreas transplant. Like I got one because um like I said, I was diagnosed with diabetes and my sugar was over 1,000. It had already damaged my kidneys when I was 15. So that's the reason why I got a pancreas, because it had already damaged my kidneys. I had already been through a lot. And so they, made a decision to where you can get the kidney and the pancreas.
What I'm hearing from listening to you is that you've not only thriving, but you've become a warrior and a champion for yourself and others. And I can also say thank you because I remember the days of when I was having my tough times. It was like out of the blue, I would get a message from you and it would be like, "How are you doing? Do you need anything?" And it just reminded me that I could keep pushing and I could keep going. And like you said, it's good to have someone that understands what you're going through because
Hmm.
we can tell people how we feel, but if they've never been through that situation, it's hard for them to really understand what we're feeling. So thank you for being
Right.
that voice for those
You're
that can't
welcome.
speak for themselves.
You're welcome. I remember our first talk at the church. So I remember it vividly for some reason. And so that meant a lot. I guess that's what really helped me, was because I remember I didn't tell like a lot of people at that time what I was going through. So I remember our talks about that, and I remember how much it meant to me. So thank you.
You are very welcome. What do you want people to know and understand about organ donation, transplant recipients, and the power of a second chance?
Um, just know that you're strong enough, you can do it. There is going to be some hardships. There's like, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. Getting a transplant was a lot. Like I said, I was on the list for 2 years, and I'm so blessed. And I think Duke did a fantastic job. Um, just, you got it. I mean, and just keep the faith. It's a lot to go through. I mean, there's lots of stuff that I had to get done, and I think what I like to tell people is when they tell you do this or get this done, get it done. Like I like to tell people that because some people are like, "Oh wow, you got it quick," and so even though I was on the list for 2 years, I mean, I guess that is quick compared to some people probably like I said, waited like 5, 10 years.
Mhm.
But all I said is, just always be nice, be respectful. I know sometimes it can be frustrating or they might repeat, the same thing over and over, just still be respectful. Always go to your appointments when they say they need to get this done, like go get it done. I was always on top of it, like when they said, okay, you need to get an EKG, you need to get a stress test, you need to get this done. Like, I went, I was like, okay, making my appointment, and you meet so many people. Like, I think I met like 5 different social workers at the time. And like I said, I met both surgeons at the time. And I mean, you just meet a lot of people in those 2 years. And, like I said, just do whatever they say that needs to be get done. Like, don't put it on the back burner, because then I think it also means like you don't care. So, I mean, like I said, just go to your doctor's appointments, go get checked for any blood work, any test they want to, get done. Just do it all. I mean, that's all I can say, is just really be respectful for the doctors. They meet thousands of people a day, seems like. And so, I mean, just, be responsible and nice, and, stay on top of it.
I agree. What does healing look like for you today beyond the physical? And how has this journey redefined strength for you?
Healing today, I felt good. So mid 2023, all 2024, like I was really struggling, with weight gain. So I felt like the healing at that time was good. Like, my transplant, everything was good, but it's like I feel like I could do better. And now that I've been working hard for the past couple months of losing weight, and to, continue to eat better, I feel like that really helped, because it's hard. I mean, it's easy to gain weight and it's hard to lose it. And so I felt like I was healed, but I could do even better to be like fully healed to me. So, I mean, now I do feel, really healed, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you know, and like I said, with God, and just doing what you're supposed to do.
In what ways do you feel called to use your story to help and encourage others with in similar paths that feel lost or not sure what to do next?
So I try to give the best advice I can. I'm always praying for them, always, trying to give like what I've been through, just so they can kind of like understand. I do have some friends that, you know, feels lost and ask me like, how you go through with it. And also I just feel like it's nice to tell my story now, because it's also nice to just share it and share how God has blessed me with another, life with the transplant, and just, just trying to be there for them. And um yeah, I mean, it's hard. You can feel lost, and I can only do so much, but I feel like I can just kind of be there or support them the best way I can.
That's awesome. Do you have any words of encouragement for the listeners? A prayer, anything you want to share?
Stay faithful, stay consistent with, you know, stay on top of your health. It's always good to go get checked, even if you are not feeling some type of way, you're trying to just push it off, like, go ahead and go get checked. You know, like I said, turn to God, because He's the only one that can help you. I mean, family and friends can help you, but God is really there, and He will never leave you. So just always, stay faithful.
Thank you so much. That's a very powerful word. Have you considered writing a book or
Oh, excuse me.
starting a show that you can help others too?
Oh my gosh.
I know we've had the book
Uh,
conversation before, but
we
I'll let
did
you
have the book
live.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like writing poetry. I'm thinking of it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, that would be fun.
Because I mean, okay, so you write poetry. I mean, honestly, that's a lot easier than doing like a story because you can just put your feelings. It can come out in different ways. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I look forward to seeing what you come up with next.
Oh, thank you. And you'll be the first one to know because definitely need that advice.
Oh, and now I'm here every step of the way.
Thank you.
Bria, your story reminds us that healing is ongoing and purpose can rise through the hardest storms. Thank you for trusting me with your story and your journey.
Oh,
Do you
and
have
thank you for having
anything
me.
you would like to say before we close out?
Just thank you for having me and thinking of me. I mean, I was nervous because I was like,
Mhm.
oh gosh, I don't know how it's going to go. Um, so I'm just so blessed to have you in my life and give me this opportunity to share my story with you and others that are watching. Um, yeah, so I mean, it's been a journey. It was 4 years. It'll be 5 years in December for my transplant, and God is good. I'm still thriving, and everything's going well. And yeah, I'm thinking about a book or poetry or something with you. That'd be nice to do something different, step out of my comfort zone. But
Mhm.
yeah, just thank you and the listeners for taking the time to listen to my story. I know it's short and sweet. That's the way we like it.
Mhm.
So, but I mean, hopefully next time, whenever I come back, it'll be a little longer and I can probably go a little more in depth. So, thank you for having me.
That sounds awesome, and you're welcome back at any time. Bria's story reminds us that healing can be quiet and strength isn't always visible. It chooses hope even when the journey feels uncertain. Thank you to the listeners of the Quiet Storm Collective. Until the next time, remember, even in the storm, purpose still speaks. Have a good night.